Good evening, loves. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Transformational Tuesday, where on the first Tuesday of every month, we discuss principles and practices to help you expand your thinking and transform your life. I'm Nyamka Farrelly, and I'm going to be bringing you Transformational Tuesdays every month. So thank you guys for your response so far. I really appreciate it, and thank you guys for joining me tonight. This discussion tonight, I think, is going to be very fun. I think it's going to be very enlightening, and it's going to be as great as you make it, and that's the power of these live broadcasts. We are allowed to interact live. So go ahead and press the share button, which is in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, so that you can invite other people to join this discussion. And please comment. I'm going to ask you questions, and I'd like you to go ahead and comment so that we can have a good, very thorough discussion. So on tonight's Transformational Tuesday, we are going to be discussing love. So the title is What's Love Got to Do with It, right? So we're going to be talking about love. What love means to you, and we're going to be talking the whole gamut. So, go ahead, pay attention, go ahead, comment, go ahead and like and interact with the other comments on the board. Go ahead and share so we can get into it. I'm going to ask, how do you define love? Let's just start with that. How do you define love? What is love to you? How do you define it? The Bible has one definition, right? I guess one definition that we use all the time, and I guess we can find other definitions throughout the Bible. Love is kind, love is patient, love doesn't envy, it doesn't dishonor, it is not boastful. Help me out here. Who knows that definition? And are you okay with that definition? Do you define love the same way the Bible defines love, or for you is love defined any differently? Go ahead and in the comment section let me know. How do you define love? What is love to you? How do you define love? Is the Bible's version good for you? Is that what you use to test love? Love is patient, love is kind, love doesn't boast, it doesn't dishonor, it is selfless, it is not self-serving. And help me out here because I'm going from memory, right? And there are different versions of it as well. How do you define love? What is love for you? So I'm going to, go back to the comments. Go ahead and let me know. Let us know, all of us who are here, how you define love. All right? Is it for you something that is kind? Is it something that is patient? Not envious? However you define love, know this. Love is not just an emotion. Love is an action. Right? Love is an action, meaning we can say that we love someone all day, all night if we want to. But if we don't have action behind of that, if we don't show the people that we say we love that we actually love them, is it really love? That's another question. Is it really love? If I'm saying that I love someone and my actions speak otherwise, is it really love? I say not. I say not. I'm not sure what you would feel or how you would think about it. But if you say you love somebody and you do opposite, so we've started to define love as being patient and being kind, being not boastful. So if we're not boastful, that means that we're not proud. Being not envious, that we don't dishonor. If we don't dishonor, that means that we honor. Love means that we honor. So if our actions don't match that, for me, it's not love. It's something else. It's not real. It's not real love if the actions don't back it up. So how do you show the people that you love them? So we've just defined love and we've just said it's an action. So love is an action. How do you show that action? How do you display that action to the people that you love? How? What I want you to do is think about it. If you're driving or if you're doing something, think about this question. Who are the top 10 people that you love? Or who are the top 10 people that are most important to you? If you have pen and paper, write it down. Who are those people? The top 10 that you love or the top 10 that are most important to you? Love is an action. So we show people we love. And then now you're identifying the people who you love, the top 10 people you love the most. How do you show them that you love? Go ahead in the comment section, let me know. And I don't want you to think that they know I love them. No, we just said it's an action. So if you're not showing people that you love them, how do they know? How do they know? Are you guessing? Are they guessing? Are they making assumptions? Are they hoping and praying that, well, I'm with this person, or that's my mom, or that's my child. They should know that I love them. How? What actions are you taking to show those people that you say that you love, that you actually love them? Let me know. How do you know? Go ahead. People confuse infatuation with love also. Very true, John. People do confuse infatuation with love. But we know that I think most of us can define, and when earlier we defined what love is, and we define who is important to us. So when we put it together as who's important to us, we usually love those people, right? So I know in your top 10, you're probably going to list your parents. Who's not going to say they love their parents? In the top 10 that you're listing, you're probably going to list your children if you have children. You're probably going to list your spouses if you're married, right? So I want you to go beyond just listing people in your family. It's easy to list people in our family because we're supposed to love them, right? It's easy to say I love my mother. It's easy to say I love my children, although that can be hard. I have a teenager now. But it's easy for us to say we love those people. But in your top 10, think about other people who are not in your family directly, who you may interact with. It may be on the job place. It may be, people who you interact with with business transactions. List those 10 people and share with me how you love them. Share with me how you show them that you love them. And think about it. For every single person that you listed, you should be able to list at least 5 ways that you show them you love them. Don't tell me that they know, because if you're not showing it, you're guessing. If you're not showing it, you're leaving it to chance that they're assuming that you love them. If you're not showing it, you know what you're not doing? You're not building a strong foundation, because that's what the foundation of love is built on. It's built on actions. So oftentimes we see people in relationships, be it marriages, be it friendships, be it anything like that, and then we see that the relationship breaks apart. It crumbles. A friendship of so long and a little misunderstanding. A marriage that seemed to be going so good and was going really good. Something small broke it apart. And that's because more than likely the people involved were not actively taking actions day after day to show the other person that they love them, building that strong foundation. So let me see what you guys have been saying. How do you love? Okay, people aren't sharing now. I'm getting concerned. You guys aren't sharing the ways that you love. Does that mean that you don't know, or does that mean that you haven't been paying attention to those 10 people? Does it mean that you haven't been taking the time to put into action your love? If you haven't, you need to start. You need to start to build that foundation so you have a strong foundation of love in all of your relationships. So let me help you out here. Gary Chapman, in his book, The 5 Love Languages, lists 5 ways or 5 different love languages in which people express their love and in which people receive love back, right? So some of you may be familiar with The 5 Love Languages, that book by Gary Chapman. So the 5 love languages are acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, and receiving gifts. Those are the 5 things that he says people show their love, show and receive love. So in acts of service, that is actually doing something of service to somebody else. Acts of service. What are some acts of service you can do? Again, going back to that list of 10 people that you have. Those 10 people, what acts of service can you do to show them that you love them? Acts of service may be for somebody that you're in a relationship with. It may be, I don't know, washing the dishes. If you're a man, helping your wife or your spouse out by washing the dishes, an act of service. Okay, an act of service may be washing the car. An act of service for a wife may be making sure that a hot meal is there. Or for children, sometimes there's some younger people who are watching this. Acts of service may mean just cleaning the house, showing your mother that you love her enough because she likes a clean home to actually clean the home. That's acts of service. So what were the other ones? Words of affirmation. How do you affirm the people that you love? How do you breathe into them the inspiration and the admiration through words, through language, through speech to show them that you love them? So that's one of the love languages that Gary Chapman describes in his book, Words of Affirmation. Do you tell the people that you love them? Saying it. Do you tell them that you're proud of them? Do you tell the people that you love, oh, you are so beautiful, or you look so beautiful today? Do you tell them these things? Somebody whose primary love language is love, words of affirmation, they're listening to hear that you love them. So we discussed acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch. Physical touch is touching of the body, right? Physical touch. And so in my coaching, some of the women that I've coached, they say, oh, well, my husband, I know what his love language is physical touch. And why would you say that? And they say, oh, I know that's his love language because he always wants sex. There's a difference, right? Most men want sex. There's a difference. Physical touch goes beyond the sexual. Physical touch means just a pat on the back, a touch on the face, holding the small of your partner's back to let them know that you're there. That's for some people how you communicate to them that you love them, that you touch them, you rub them, you kiss on your children. Physical touch. It's different from sex altogether, okay? So we discussed 3 so far. Quality time. Spending quality time. That means one-on-one time that is not interrupted. So some people express their love or receive their love by that. Are you spending one-on-one time with me? And let me tell you, I'm giving references to spouses, I'm giving references to members of the family, but this goes beyond. It can be on the workplace. Are you a supervisor or are you on a team where somebody's love language may be quality time? Meaning that beyond the group meetings, they just want to communicate one-on-one with you. They just want to bounce ideas one-on-one. They just want you to come into their office and ask, how are you doing? Without a group of people there, because that's how they know that you care, through quality time. So we spoke about acts of service, words of admiration, quality time, physical touch, and the other one is receiving gifts, right? So some people like to receive gifts. And let's clarify this. This doesn't mean that the person who likes gifts as a form of showing them that you love them, that you have to go out and spend a lot of money. It means that you do little things or you invest little amounts of money into making them feel that they're loved. So for example, somebody who likes to receive gifts, if a holiday like Valentine's Day passes without them receiving something, it hurts tremendously because that's how they receive love. That's how you communicate to them that they are loved, right? By receiving gifts. And it can be something small. It can be a gift that is handmade, for example. It can be a gift that's not expensive, but the thought process that you would think about the fact that this is how they like to be loved, that you would actually do it. It may mean, buying a Snickers bar or chocolate for your kids because they like receiving gifts. And so Gary Chapman in his book says that in healthy relationships, there's a mix of all 5. Okay, there's a mix of all 5 in healthy relationships. But people usually have an affinity to about 1 or 2 of them. Okay, and so you need to find out those 10 people on your list who you said you love, who you said are important to you. You need to find out what their love languages are. Why? So that you can make sure that you are loving them in a way that they want to be loved. All right? So you may agree or you may even disagree with Gary Chapman's 5 love languages and his assessment of how people give and receive love. The bottom line is this. You have to take action to make sure the people that you say you love know that you love them. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is, how are they able to receive your love in a meaningful way? How do you demonstrate to them in a way that's meaningful to them that you love them? That's important. How are you demonstrating to them? And the key here is in a way that is meaningful to them. You see, because we discussed that most people have 2 primary love languages. So if my love language is physical touch and quality time, and someone says they love me and they are washing my car for me and they are giving me gifts, and if they say that they love me all the time and they don't touch me and they don't spend quality time with me, I don't think that you love me. I don't. So that's why it's important for us not to love just based on our orientation of what we consider love. Because what we consider love is one thing. But those 10 people on your list, those people that you say are important to you, it's important that you find out how they want to receive love. And then, if you really love them, like you say you do, you're going to make sure that your actions match that. You're going to make sure that you do the things that they like done to show them that you love them. So have you guys been sharing with me what it is that you do to show the people that you care about and that you love them? Have you guys been sharing this? What do you do? What do you do to show the people that you love them? And how can you improve on that? How can you do that even more? How can you do that more to build the strong foundation for love so that when storms come, when gossip comes, when bad things happen, you have such a strong, solid foundation of love, of knowing that you are loved, that nothing really can shake it. How are you doing that? Go ahead, share with me. Ife says spending time. Absolutely. Now, spending time, is that how that person wants to be loved? Is that how that person wants to be loved? All right? So find that out, and I want you to work on those relationships. Work on building them, because at the end of the day, that feeling, how we feel, it fades away, because love isn't an emotion only. It is more so action. And as you start working on the list of the 10 people that you have, I want you to think beyond those 10 people. There's so much hate in the world right now. So much hate in the world. And we've spoken about this before. And we know that the answer to hate is not more hate. How are we going to change things? We have to change things by showing love. Beyond the 10 people who are in our family circle, it starts there. Definitely starts there. But beyond that, and besides those 10 people, how do you show you love? How do you show you love on a regular basis? Again, going back to the biblical definition that we have, love is patient, love is kind, love doesn't dishonor, it is not boastful. On a daily basis, when you go about your life, can somebody feel your energy and say, wow, I feel the love? If not, you need to work on that if you truly love. If you say that you are love, people should be able to feel it. You know, you can't say that you love and you love in your home and then you leave your home and then you love in your church and then you leave your church and you get on the street and you're dishonoring people and you're envious and you're not kind. It doesn't work that way. When we say that we are love and we are showing love, it's something that shows up all the time in everything that we do. So you have to be conscious about that as you go about your life, as you go about your daily activities, as you speak one-on-one with people, as you communicate. How are you showing that you love? How are you showing just the average person, your children's teachers, the bus driver, the person at the checkout counter? And I know it's hard. It's hard, especially because there's so much hate. But that's when love and your love comes into play. And that's where it matters. It matters where you are being shown so much hate and you're able to respond in love. You're able to respond in kindness. You're able to respond with patience. You're able to respond with honor, honoring someone else. Realize that the people who sometimes have so much hate within them, they don't know how to show love. They don't. And so it takes somebody like you who knows love to show that person. Is it hard? Yes, it is hard. It is not easy to answer someone who's showing you hate with love. It is not. I'm not going to sit here and say it is. It's hard. It's difficult. But this I do know. The more that you practice to respond in love, and the more that you practice love in your daily activities, the more that you make love a habit, the easier it's going to be to respond. The more you do it, you're going to be faced with hate and you're going to say, wow, I'm proud of myself. I could have responded this way, but I chose to respond in love instead. And that says a lot about you. That says about a lot about the person you are. It says a lot about your energy. It says a lot about this world. So now imagine if you go ahead and share this video with other people and you operate in this love and more of us operate in this love. Imagine the compounding effect that it'll have. Imagine the compounding effect where I'm faced with hate and I try my best to respond with love. I'm human. I mean, all I can do is try. All you can do is try. All any of us can do is try. So imagine more of us responding in love. First of all, loving on our families, loving on those 10 people that you listed, loving on the people who are most important to you. That's what it matters. And then loving on everybody else we meet and making sure that love shows up when we speak. Love shows up when we enter the room. Love shows up in everything that we do. Can you try that? Can you try that? Just imagine what compounding effects it will have. Just imagine what type of energy would happen if we just try it. Try it. Try it. I'm not saying that it's going to show up all the time. If you're verbally attacked or physically attacked, then you may not respond in love right then and there because you're not used to it. But the more you practice it, the more it's going to show up. So I challenge you today to live in love, to love those people on your list, love those people in your family, but to let love show up in your life in every single thing that you do. Now hear me. I'm not saying to tolerate disrespect. I'm not saying to tolerate abuse. I'm not saying to tolerate dishonor. I'm not saying that you're going to tolerate the things that you don't like. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when dishonor shows up, be honest enough to tell the person, I feel dishonored. When abuse shows up, be honest enough to tell the person, I feel that I'm in an abusive situation or that you're taking advantage of me. But wrap whatever it is that you're communicating in love. Don't tolerate abuse. Don't tolerate disrespect. Don't tolerate anybody dishonoring you just in the name of love. That's not love. Because self-love starts first, right? When we love ourselves, we be kind with ourselves. When we love ourselves, we are patient with ourselves. When we love ourselves, we honor ourselves. And if we truly love ourselves, we're not going to allow anyone to treat us any less. All right? We're not going to sit back and say, I'm going to love on this person who's treating me badly. So make sure that you get that. I'm not in any way saying to tolerate anything that dishonors you or disrespects you in the name of love. I'm saying practice self-love and love yourself enough to identify when you're in this situation and love yourself enough to put an end to it. Because if you communicate to somebody often enough, that you are not pleased with how they are treating you, and they continue to treat you in a disrespectful way, they continue to hurt you, they continue to lie to you, rest assured that that person doesn't value you. And because you love yourself, because you're kind with yourself, because you're patient with yourself, because you love yourself, you're going to remove yourself from that situation so that you cannot be dishonored anymore, so that you cannot be hurt anymore, because you love yourself. See, a lot of times we've been conditioned to believe, especially as women, that loving ourselves means that we're going to be in a nail shop every 2 weeks. And loving ourselves mean that we're going to be in a hair salon every 2 weeks. And that's good. I'm not saying don't take care of yourself. But I'm saying go beyond the physical and love first internally. Love on yourself on the inside first. All right? We're in the nail shops every 2 weeks, but are we going to the dentist every 6 months? Are we going to get our annual exams every year? Are we checking our heart health to make sure that we're healthy inside? Are we going to a therapist or a coach or a mental health professional when things aren't feeling right for us? Mental health is just as important as anything else. And we need to take care of ourselves. We need to love ourselves, be kind with ourselves, so that we can love on others, and then we can project that love to the rest of the world. So this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. I want you guys to join me in intentional acts of love. Intentional acts of love. Earlier, I asked you to list the 10 people, the top 10 people that you love the most or that are most important to you. I also asked you to just show love to the average person. And I know that you've probably heard of intentional acts, random acts of kindness. This is different. This is different because I want you to be intentional. Intentional acts of love for the rest of the year, not just the rest of the month, the rest of the year. I want you to join me in intentional acts of love, meaning that I don't want you to just happen and stumble upon being loving to somebody, especially those people on your list. I want you to be intentional about it. I want you to think about those 10 people that you've written down, and every single day, think of a way that you can show them that you love them. How can you do that? How can you daily show those 10 people on your list that you love them? That's being intentional. And guess what? It feels great to know that somebody loves you and somebody's intentionally taking the actions to show you that they love you. We spoke about that foundation, and that's how the foundation for strong relationships are built. So I'm going to ask you to join me 2017. Forget about the hate that is going on. Rise above it and be the example. Be the example of love by intentionally doing acts of love for the people that you love, for the people that you care about, and just for the average person. Think about, how can I show this person that I love them? How can I show this person that I care? How can I light up this person's life or this person's day? By doing something, by taking action. Will you join me? Go ahead and let me know. Let me know if I can count on you to join me to participate for the entire 2017 in intentional acts of love. And when you do, send me a message on Facebook, text me if you have my number, inbox me if you'd like to, and let me know how it's working for you when you're actually being intentional with your loving. So that's all that I have for tonight. I thank you guys for joining me. I ask you to share the love. Share the love. Go ahead and share this video. You know, I go back and I go through the comments. If you have anything else that you need to add, go ahead and do that. Or inbox me. A lot of you guys inbox me or send me emails. Let me know how it's working for you. So the question that I asked is, what's love got to do with it? What's love got to do with it? Love has everything to do with it. Every single thing. Because love shows up in who we are. When we enter a room, our energy, if it's filled with love, it shows up. Love shows up in everything that we do. It shows up in everything that we say. It shows up in who we are. What does love have to do with it? Everything. So I challenge you tonight to love on yourself. I challenge you tonight to love on your friends and family. And I challenge you tonight to love. Just love. Love doesn't ask for anything in return. Thank you guys. I love you. Go ahead, share this video, and I'm going to go back and go through all of the comments. And next month, first Tuesday of the month, Transformational Tuesday. Love you guys. Bye-bye.